A deadly terror attack in Jerusalem this morning. At least a half a dozen Israelis killed, nearly 24 wounded. Joining me now from Jerusalem is Chris Mitchell, Middle East Bureau Chief at CBN News. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome back to Washington Watch.
Good to be with you, Tony.
All right, give us the latest on this terrorist attack that took place there this morning in Jerusalem.
Yeah, Tony, just on the outskirts of Jerusalem, the worst terror attack since, say November 2024, where there were 4 people killed today, 6, and as you said, about 24 wounded. Horrific. 2 Palestinian terrorists got on a bus and this began shooting, and also was shooting some pedestrians that were close by. People were in panic, just fleeing the scene. Thankfully, there were 2 people with arms and were able to neutralize those terrorists. But Benjamin Netanyahu came to the scene of that terror attack and promised that they would do everything they can to prevent anything like that. He did say that hundreds of terror attacks have been thwarted by the Israeli police in the last year. But unfortunately, this one got through, and something that Jerusalemites haven't seen for several months, but just a reminder of how deadly these terror attacks can be.
Chris, what do we know about the terrorists responsible for this attack?
Well, they live not far away, maybe about 2 or 3 miles. They were able to come with the help, apparently, of an accomplice. They had homemade what's called a Carlo submachine gun that they used. They also had a knife, and that was what they used for this terror attack. And so they're those homes, and they're going to follow any accomplices that they had. Netanyahu pledged that they would make sure that these terror havens, as they said, there's 3 that have been eliminated. They're going to do as much as they can to get even more. I would say I reached out earlier today to Itamar Marcus. He's the head of the Palestinian Media Watch. And although the Palestinian Authority hadn't said anything, Hamas called it a heroic operation. But Marcus said that 2 weeks ago on Palestinian television, there was a sermon that said, Allah, kill them all one by one, don't leave anyone. And he draws a direct connection between the incitement from the Palestinian Authority to today's terror attack.
Well, also over the weekend, the Houthi rebels firing actually a drone attack, wounding 5 people in Israel.
Yeah, that came near the Ramon Airport down near Eilat. They're obviously targeting that airport. There was one that hit not too far away from the airport recently. And then there were several drones that were fired earlier today as well. So despite all the attacks that have been going against the Houthis, and Israel has decimated maybe half of the leadership of the Houthi government down there, they continue to fire at Israel, and they're particularly hitting that particular airport, also the Dimona, which may be that nuclear site here in Israel. So they continue their attacks and promise by Defense Minister Katz that there will be a hurricane against the Houthis, and they will continue to fight them to eliminate this threat that comes against Israelis that put either an airport or maybe millions of people in bomb shelters.
Chris, just a little over a minute left. I saw the statement by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledging this building international pressure as the international community will be gathering at the United Nations later this month. But he said, quote, "If I have to choose between victory over our enemies and bad propaganda against us, I choose victory over our enemies," end quote. Do the Israeli citizens share that resolve?
Well, to some degree, I think they do, Tony. They want to have victory, and right now they're on the cusp of a major offensive into Gaza City. Right now, in the last few days, they've eliminated maybe 50 of the high-rise towers in Gaza City. Hamas has been using them as headquarters. But to your point, I believe a lot of Israelis believe that they need to make sure that they finally defeat Hamas, despite the propaganda campaign. It is notable that what Israel has done last week, they eliminated the head of Hamas propaganda, who had been using, he's sort of the mastermind behind the famine controversy, this Starving Gaza campaign, and being used really in a diabolical way to manufacture these narratives against Israel, which is losing the propaganda war, but hopefully they'll win the war against Hamas. Prime Minister Netanyahu hopes they can do that very soon.
All right, Chris Mitchell, always great to see you. We're praying for you, and we're praying for the peace of Jerusalem and all of Israel.